Cosmic absolution, regular reality, breadth of concept, symphony of all humanity. Confused descendants born of rebel insurgents, I'll fly towards the universe and pass through cosmic space. So if you want to stop in the fear, only then will I stop. Oh, suddenly, suddenly, my freedom, liberty. Suddenly, oh no. Oh, suddenly,
We're in.
We're live?
Yep.
Here we go.
That was a terrible transition.
Yeah. Whoever's in charge of the production on this whole outfit we have going on needs to be fired immediately.
This is why
Get out! No, welcome everybody to the very special Black Friday edition of Thought Patrol. We have lots to talk about today. I'm sure I'll cover about half of it and go on some kind of rant about taxes or something. I don't know. So let's just jump right into it.
Hey.
Also, Brandon, you have to drink that entire eggnog.
I plan to. I wholeheartedly plan to.
Well, get chugging, because we're just going to plow through these topics.
There you go, the eggnog.
Here we go. So it's Black Friday special, so might as well start with Black Friday. Did you even go Black Friday shopping?
I went shopping during Black Friday. I don't think that I bought anything that was a Black Friday deal, though.
Okay.
So, yes. By the way, watch out for my camera being off time and possibly catching me on freeze frames. But yeah, so I didn't go.
Let's cut the crap. No one watches that camera in the bottom right. We know who the star is, okay? Like, this is no secret. Oh God, there goes all our viewers.
Starting early.
Black Friday, I'm really glad, like, growing up that I was able to experience, like, real Black Friday. Because I don't think what, like, now Black Friday is the same thing. First of all, it's not even on Friday anymore. It's Thanksgiving night, which I don't like. And I'm sure you can somehow rip capitalism and for this. Whatever, fine, maybe.
Fuck 'em.
You get 1 point. But, because everyone wants to be earlier. But I think it's, like, I think it's them about trying to make it safer.
Yeah.
And I get that. Like, okay, no one's, like, dying from being trampled. But, man, when there was those stampedes, I remember waiting in Southridge Mall for, like, 6 hours. And there's barricades. And it was this, you literally had to fight people to save, like, $4 on something.
I killed a man.
But, like, it was so much fun back then. Like, I remember just people pushing over barricades, and it was just hell on earth. And then people had to go and ruin it and die. So, thanks everybody. Thanks for getting trampled on for a Harry Potter DVD box set. No, okay. It was more fun then, but overall it is safer now.
Yeah.
So if I'm being real, it is an improvement, but I still can kind of miss
that chaos was fun too.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Oh yeah.
But as long as you knew, hey, I'm going, and this might take, 100 times longer than it should, if not more. Real. As long as you're in for it, the chaos to me was pretty fun.
I wore knee pads when I went Black Friday. I'm not even kidding. I used to wear knee pads, like, so I could just, and I used them at Target one time. I was going, everyone wanted the TVs, and they only had like 6 of them.
Yeah.
And I was like 20th in line, so I'm like, I'm going to have to, once these doors open up, I'm going to have to move. And so I remember this very well. Like they handed out a map of where the TVs were, and they were on the opposite side of the store. And so everyone's kind of moving down the, like,
to the fire exit.
Everyone's like moving down the aisles, and I'm like, I have to cut through like the clothing department. And I must have knocked over, I'm not kidding, like 10 like racks of, like, fully knocked over. And you know what?
How many people were there?
A lot. And
how many people did I knock over?
I think of myself as a pretty nice guy, generally speaking. But you know what? Especially back then, if you were out Black Friday shopping, you knew what you were getting into. There's some pushing, there's some shoving, and
full body
diving,
armor vests.
Right.
Vests, body, whatever.
You're going in full like Kevlar. No, you're in the outfit that the guy has, that Jeremy Renner has in, and what's that?
The
Hurt
bomb squad, yeah.
Hurt Locker. You're walking around in that thing. You don't get anything because you can't run in that.
Why is SWAT here? Like, no, that's just that's a prepared shopper. It's not SWAT.
No, but after knocking down those things, I got the final TV and I literally dove on it. 2 more seconds and some other dude would have had it.
And now we have completely different TVs.
Yeah, now that TV's gone. No, but the Black Friday, it's not what it was, but I guess it's safer, which is good. But now, this year was even less chaotic, even like than the past couple of years, because I think so much is online.
Yeah. Between the online sales and the good thing about it starting earlier than Friday, I think, is that it spreads it out more. So by the time, the people that want a Black Friday shop still do it all day Friday, starting at 3 a.m. or some shit, or 6 a.m. or whatever. But there's already people that did the Thanksgiving night shopping that were the hardcore ones or something. So I mean, it still makes it's still weird that it goes into Thanksgiving so early. It's not even. It's a 2-day event now. But I think that spreading it out, or someplace, or some places making their sales last for longer than Friday too.
I think it's good for the casual shopper.
Yeah.
But then someone like me who's like, I want to go in there. I have a list of exactly what I'm buying. There's only going to be X amount of these things. Like
lives lost.
Exactly.
X.
Well, like at Walmart, they had the Nintendo Switch for $300 with Mario Kart included, which is the best deal for a Switch. And then I go up there and I go, hey, where is this? He goes, oh, we only had 6. And I'm like, okay. And then I just went on Amazon and they had the same deal.
Yeah.
With 2-day shipping. It's like, okay.
For free.
Click. Boom. Done. So, like, I don't know. Speaking of Amazon, that was a good segue. Let me pull up my notes.
My nerds.
So, this is a lot of people were talking about this on like the podcast that I listen to, and there was one thing in there that I wanted to kind of bring attention to. This might get slightly political, very slightly. Very slightly.
I have the eggnog.
So Amazon was choosing another like corporate location, like that would be equal to the one they have in New York or wherever it is. I don't know. Very, very factual on this podcast. And so all the biggest cities in America obviously want this Amazon warehouse or giant building.
Stimulate their economy.
Yeah, of course. And it would be fantastic for any city to have.
They just wanted their packages faster. They didn't give a fuck about the jobs.
Pretty much. So all these cities, and most large cities are to the left politically, I guess. I mean, I don't think that's a surprise. New York, Chicago, L.A., those are all pretty left-leaning cities. High murder rate, too. That's into it. Every single one of these cities offered Amazon, like, a deal.
Yeah, tax breaks, etc.
Right. And so they came with these, like, 11, 12-page things that we will do this. If you come here, we'll give you $500 million tax break. We will do all these things. Now, it's interesting to me that all these lefty cities, right? Mini rant, it's going to be short. All these leftist cities who think like taxes are good and that they help people. And then as soon as they actually want something, you know what they do? They do the one thing that works, lower taxes. These cities have giant taxes. And then Amazon comes in, they're like, oh, we want that. You know, let's actually do something productive and good. And, you know, just forget our morals because they don't have any. No, like they do super conservative policies when they actually want something. With all these huge leftist cities are giving huge tax breaks. Anyway, okay, here's no. Tax breaks are good, and they should stick to it. One of the Columbus, Ohio, I think this is the one I wanted to talk about. Yeah, Columbus, Ohio. In their offer to Amazon, they said if you move your company here, we will make a special, this is real, make a special task force to find out why our murder rate is so high.
That doesn't sound like a bad reason to have Amazon there.
If Amazon goes there, because their murder rate is so high that if Amazon comes there, they're like, hey, if you guys come, maybe we'll try to figure out why so many people are dying.
Tell you what, you come here, we'll try to make it a better place.
Like, why aren't you...
We'll build some walls.
Why aren't you doing that already? Why aren't you doing that already? I don't get it. I mean, yes, find out why the murder rate's so high, but have that already done.
I feel like that was added as part of like a bet. Like
someone
else in the city hall was like, tell you what, we'll attach something else to it. Only if you can get Amazon to come in. If not, we ain't doing it.
Yeah,
bet.
Whoever made that, like their opponent, whenever re-election comes out, however it works, they should be like, this person didn't make this task force to find out why there's so many murders. I don't know. I thought that was
That's slander.
I thought that was pretty funny. I also got down that one of Hillary Clinton's ex-aides, who's supposedly still in the know, says that Hillary is running in 2020. I'm not going to stick on this one too much, but all I can say is, please. Fucking please. Okay? I don't ask for much, but oh my god, that would be... Yes, that's all I want. Okay.
It.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into. I mean, you could probably figure out why. It'd be a slam dunk, and that old bitch. I want to see her lose again 3 times. Okay, Stan Lee. He died like 2 weeks ago, but we haven't done an actual thought patrol in a while. Stan Lee dead at 95. Now, I met Stan Lee actually.
Oh,
yeah, at Dragon Con. Pretty cool. Now I'm a huge Marvel fan. Obviously, this is very sad whenever anyone beloved by get it right.
Just center you a little bit more.
Right. Just make sure this is looking good.
All right. Perfect.
Obviously, it's sad when anyone who's beloved by millions and millions and who's done so much to help so many people. Obviously, it's very sad when he dies, or when anyone like that dies.
Yeah.
But I saw a lot of people posting things like, "I'm so shocked today."
Oh yeah. What was he? 95?
95.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want him to die, but 95 is a long fucking life. Yeah, there was a better chance of him hitting it then.
Yeah, and if you've been paying attention, like he's now sat during all his like photo ops.
Hasn't he been like preparing for this too?
Yeah.
Like
he a couple months ago, they filmed like 4 cameos for the next 4 Marvel movies because we knew this was coming.
Guys, I'm not gonna make it to then.
We knew this was coming. It's extremely sad, and I don't want to sound like heartless or anything, Kanye West. But this wasn't some big shocker. It's obviously very sad, and every time I see his cameos in a Marvel movie, it will be very sad. But I don't know. I just thought it was weird seeing people like, oh my god, I can't believe it. Dude's been making movies or comics for a long time. Who knows? Either way.
Quite a while.
R.I.P. Stan Lee.
Quite a while.
Talk like that forever.
While.
Okay. Detective Pikachu trailer.
Yes. So pumped. So ready. You're not even rolling your eyes. This is exactly what I've wanted since first grade, as well as a console version of a Pokemon game. This is everything. These are literal wishes I've had since Pokemon came out. So, staying true to me, because I'm real. Yes, everything about this, yes, especially because it doesn't look like it's a bad version of it. Maybe corny, a little bit.
I like the idea of it, but Ryan Reynolds' voice just doesn't work for me.
I think it's perfect.
It just doesn't work.
It almost makes more sense because of him being Deadpool, so like it fits in with it.
I think, and I stole this joke, but I think he's just doing this so in Deadpool 3 he can make more jokes about like being Pikachu.
Or like how meta can I be, like, kind of
exactly.
things.
No, I like the idea of the movie. I think I'm going to go see it obviously the second it comes out, but I don't I don't know if Ryan Reynolds' voice works. I just hear Deadpool.
Well, it works for me because I already remember whenever I found out about the DS game.
Yeah.
And I was like, this, I assumed this was a joke, and then I looked it up, and here's a video of like all the cutscenes, and it's like a talking Pikachu. It's like, "Hey kid, I think we can solve this crime." And I was like, "But this is an official thing.
Yeah, that was.
This isn't a Newgrounds video."
That was
and
something.
And then that's why this kind of just makes sense. Where they took like, "Hey, let's do a different version of that same thing," and then Ryan Reynolds was just. Not that he's some deeper, battle-hardened detective voice.
Right.
But in comparison to what a Pikachu should sound like, he definitely...
I think they either had to go, like, very close to, like, Pika Pika, like that, or, like, Ryan Reynolds.
Polar opposite.
Totally opposite.
Yeah. No.
I'm sure I'll actually like it, but I don't think I'm used to it yet, but I'm sure I'll love the movie.
I liked that... Obviously, I couldn't tell too much from the trailer, but it did look like it had... Oh, hi, cat. It looked like it had enough mature jokes, or at least allusions in there.
Okay.
Hey, no, get off.
Get off.
There's important cables on this table. I'm sorry, kitty. It looked like there was at least like more mature jokes in there. Maybe not. It's not like it's gonna be rated R.
Right.
It just looked like there was humor that older people and teens and adults can appreciate,
sure,
rather than only really corny kid humor or something.
Right.
Even if it does look like it's family friendly, it's not. It's not 6-year-old directed.
I think it's aimed at like our age.
Yeah.
People
because of the people that started with it more.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it look a little bit better. That it's not just a really fantastical.
Right. I like it. Jordy Nelson, the Packer, ex-Packer.
I heard
he retired. This is like 3 weeks ago. Jesus.
He lived till 95. I'm confusing stories.
Why? I still don't get it. Why didn't he? Maybe he knew he was going to retire, and maybe this is me just being like, I want all the good people to be Packers. But why? Wouldn't it have been so much better for him to be a Packer like his whole career, almost all his career, and then end as a Packer instead of the last half season of your career you trade to some other team and do okay? It would have been so much better. It's kind of like Brett Favre.
He should have went on to playing baseball and then played for Space Jam.
Exactly.
That's how that.
No, but like Brett Favre, his whole legacy as a Packer got really muddied. Not even with the sex stuff. That's a whole other thing. But he like flip-flop teams all over.
Different muddy.
Yeah. He like flip-flop teams at the end. Is he coming back? Is he not coming back? I mean, it kind of, you have this great legacy as one of the best in Packers history, and then right at the end it gets real icky, and it's not like a clean ending. So I don't know. There's not much to say about that. I don't like it. Write a letter.
I ain't about it. I don't like it. I don't want it.
Oh man, I have so many things to talk about. We're gonna have to cut some of these out. Oh, this one was really weird.
Let me edit this live footage.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
I had this big thing about Michael Avenatti planned, but that was like 2 weeks ago, and that's already been beat to death with a club.
Seal.
Do you remember, this was probably like 6 months ago, there was that story that came out that supposedly this homeless guy.
Yeah.
You've heard, I think most people heard this.
I've been keeping up a little bit.
Good man. This husband and wife ran out of gas, and for some reason didn't have like their wallets on them.
I think it was the wife alone, actually.
Okay.
I think that's what made it more of the nicer story.
Sure. That probably makes sense. So this wife runs out of gas, doesn't have any money, but she's supposedly very wealthy.
Yeah.
And so this homeless guy sees her and spends his only $20 to give her gas money. She's like, "Oh my God, that was so nice of you." And they set up this big GoFundMe for this guy, and it raises.
Homeless veteran.
Was he a veteran?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
That's what made it like more of a.
Sounds like you know more about the story than I do.
I have watched Philip DeFranco a little bit, so a few episodes here and there.
So then there was this huge scandal on like, when does he get the money? Because the husband and wife set this up, and then supposedly they were spending some of the money. Supposedly they gave him a little bit of the money, but said once you're clean off drugs, then you get the rest of the money. And it became this whole thing, like, these people raised the money, but with the intention of giving it to this person.
Mm-hmm.
And the husband, like, admitted that he dipped into it for gambling, but then he paid it back. It was this very messy situation. It turns out the whole thing was fake.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out that they set up this plan with this homeless guy.
I was going to say, that part wasn't fake, because that's what I kept trying to have answered, and it was clarified later as I was watching through things. He was a real homeless person I think is a real homeless veteran, but...
They found him and said, hey, let's make this fake thing.
And he said, all right, I guess.
Right. And then so they agreed to give X amount of money, like, hey, we'll give you $5,000, whatever it was, $50,000. He then sees that, hey, they made X amount of $1 million or $200,000, whatever it was. So then he wanted more, but to not get caught, they just basically, no one had to complain.
Yeah.
But then he wanted more money, so then they had to, like, come up with fake scandals to cover the real one because there was still some kind of scandal going on.
Yeah.
They couldn't tell the truth completely, so they had to have, like, this fake scandal on top of this lie.
Yeah.
Because the guy in the real world wanted more money. I don't know. It was a really messy situation.
Basically, all the money was supposed to be his no matter what. But then because of them lying about it, like...
Yeah, but then because it was under false pretenses,
I know,
then GoFundMe is now refunding everybody. Mm-hmm. And that kind of sucks. I'm stealing this from Philip Franco, like everything on the show.
By the way, this is empty.
Nice. Get another one.
Okay, BRB. Hold up.
No, it kind of sucks because I think people will be discouraged from donating now with a lot of things like that. Oh, most of these charities are just going to whatever. Or if you see, like, a homeless person and then you think, like, oh, well, they're just going to spend the money on booze. Like, a few bad examples of this, I think, can kind of ruin it for a lot of people. And I don't want to live in a world where people don't donate because I want everyone to be happy and giving and caring. The future is female. Make sure you put this in the comedy section of YouTube because that was a zinger.
We're not in any section on YouTube right now. We're just on YouTube. That's uncategorized. Not yet famous.
Skip that
category.
Skip that. Jim Acosta stuff.
Most people on YouTube.
Skip.
He's a bad person.
Okay, this is kind of also sad. And it's very weird when you see some people kind of celebrating this. There was that Christian missionary.
Oh, yeah.
And he looked like he was mid-20s, maybe our age, late 20s. And he went to this isolated island off of Africa. And these people have, like, no technology. They still have bow and arrow and very primitive. But, like, there's some laws saying, like, hey, we can't... Whatever they do, they govern themselves. There's basically no rules on this island.
Yeah. Well, their rules.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want, like, legally. So this guy goes there and he gets killed by, like, spears and bows and arrows.
Mind you, wasn't he warned to not go there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still sad. Now,
just saying.
Was that the smartest thing to do?
Not at all.
No. Of course not. But I think he did it. I know you're not Christian or whatever. But
he had good intentions.
He had good intentions. I think this was overall a good, maybe a little silly. But he went there to try to spread his religion, not by force.
Yeah, that's the good thing that it wasn't.
He literally armed with a book.
Yeah,
and trying to convert these people.
I was cracking up though when one of the news was reading off, and then an arrow penetrated his waterproof Bible, and I was like, that was the needed detail. How cinematic of a way to go out. Right. Oh, the Bible, no! And then he gets pelted by a few more arrows, and sad piano plays, and a found footage camera drifts off into the ocean.
I had to watch that movie. No, so I don't know. But then you see these people, I don't want to just keep ripping on people on the left, but people who are, like, not like you, who's, like, more atheist.
Yeah.
People who are, like, very anti-Christian, let's say. But these people are, like, kind of, like, celebrating this. Like, that idiot, I'm glad. Leave these people alone. I saw this one lady, no names, making an argument that these people had a right, that he was there illegally, and they have a right to defend their country. But this lady's also for the open borders in America and letting the... Nope, not... Next meme. There's going to be a Breaking Bad sequel movie. You never watched Breaking Bad, did you?
No, I have not yet.
The greatest show of all time. All time.
Even with the shaved head and formerly owning an Aztec. No, I never.
You need to get that Aztec back. Vashtec. Bitch! They're doing a movie sequel.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how I feel about it. Because, spoiler alert, the main character dies at the end. Walter.
Oh, okay. And isn't he supposed to be in this now?
No.
No?
His sidekick, the co-star, but Walter's definitely
Aaron?
number one. Aaron Paul, who plays Jesse. He's definitely the second actor, but he's kind of the co-star. It's going to be starring him.
Oh, okay.
And they definitely left his ending very open.
Okay.
The last time you see him, he's escaping from, like, all these horrible things, and you just see him driving away, kind of laughing and crying, like, at the same time, like, into the distance, kind of.
Yeah.
And that's why there was a ton of, like, jokes saying that the Need for Speed movie was a pseudo-sequel to Breaking Bad, because the last time you see Jesse, he's speeding away, and then that movie's him speeding in a car. Obviously, it's not. But I almost don't want it. I mean, obviously, I'm going to go see it. But Breaking Bad had such a nice ending. And I don't know. I want it.
Let it die.
Yeah, let it preserve its memory. It's kind of like why I don't want System of a Down to come out with another album.
Yeah.
I will listen to it nonstop. But they have a perfect 5-album
They
thing.
could tour again.
Yeah, keep touring. But I don't think just them adding new stuff might tarnish the old.
Yeah.
Kind of like how
I don't know what you mean.
kind of like how Episode 8 for Star Wars makes the other Star Wars movies worse because it breaks so much, like,
Brings them down a little bit.
right. But on the opposite end, Rogue One made Star Wars Episode 4 a better movie.
Yeah.
So, like, that answered a plot hole. But then Episode 8 comes along and just muddies the water with all these new rules, and it doesn't obey the set establishment, like, rules.
Yeah.
So it kind of like, hey, then if you could blow up this ship, then why aren't you doing this with the Death Star?
Kind of keeping it off track, though. So you want those 5 CDs, System of a Down, unscathed.
Right.
But would you still be okay if they came out with a single every now and then?
That would be better.
Okay.
I would rather them...
That way you still got something out of them, but not a whole album to ruin something.
That would be better. I would still rather have nothing new.
Or more collaboration things or something, yeah.
I want nothing new, but let's pretend they did come out with a new album and it was amazing. Then I'd be very glad that they did.
Yeah.
I just don't think that if they did come out with another album, it would be amazing.
Or at least not on par with the other CDs.
Right. So, out of fear, I don't want them to come out with more. And what were we talking about right before this? Like, that got us on the topic?
The Too Many Things.
Oh, yeah, Breaking Bad.
There you go.
So, if the sequel movie is good, I'll be extremely happy, and it will probably make Breaking Bad better. But if it's bad, it might take away, and me being kind of pessimistic and living in a constant state of fear.
I just have so much anxiety about everything.
Oh, boy. So, out of fear, I don't want this, but I hope it's really good, and it could be really good. Let's hope so. Oh. Okay, we're going to go more political. Not really. The Young Turks, which is that socialist news organization.
Screw the Turks.
By Cenk Uygur, which is based... They're the...
Chunk Uygur?
They are the worst. These people are the absolute worst. And if you ever watch, like, if you ever read their articles, I sometimes will. I don't like giving them the clicks, but sometimes I just have to read what the hell they said.
I need to find something to hide that I'm even looking at this. I'm talking about the Young Turks.
But they made an article about these California wildfires, which are obviously terrible. Oh, and also, not to interrupt myself, I'm going to. Everyone knows that I'm a big fan of the Don, right? I don't hide that.
Oh, yeah.
But someone the other day was like, hey, I know he's your boy, but what he said about raking was really stupid. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, just because I'm a fan of him doesn't mean I agree with everything he says. That dude talks a lot of crap. And he was talking about how if everyone like raked their lawns or something, there wouldn't be fires. No, that was a stupid thing to say. Just because I like Trump doesn't mean I agree with everything he says.
And it sounds like, I mean, I didn't actually hear the recording of it. I heard that that's what he said, but it sounds like that's just him saying a joke. Like,
it wasn't though.
Maybe a dark joke, but
someone once said,
"Come on, they would have stopped this if they just would have raked the goddamn leaves."
He was being serious. Which is kind of messed up. Either way, now there is an argument to be made about proper deforestation and like not letting it overgrow.
Plus, don't they have some law against? Yeah,
California does.
Yeah,
California.
Secede.
So there is an argument I think you could make that way. I don't really know enough to actually rip on California for that or not. I just think these fires are obviously terrible and sad.
Was he basically simplifying that whole thing? Is what
Might have. Either way,
it sounded like, you know, like if they would have cleaned up the place.
It was stupid to say, and just because I like him doesn't mean I don't cringe super hard all the time.
You know you loved when you heard that. If they would have raked the leaves, this wouldn't be happening.
Deal. Everyone, rake America great again. So either way,
who left the oven on?
Who left the fridge open?
Yeah. This time it's personal.
No one will get that joke. Okay. Back on topic. So the Young Turks said, okay, right by the wildfire is Kim Kardashian and Kanye West's house.
Okay. And
it was kind of on the path of it might get burned down. They, with their own money, like, saved their house or something. Like, maybe they had hoses or something. There was some big deal where they prevented their house. Okay. So maybe they, like, chopped the forest around their stuff or something down. Either way, they were making a big deal to save their own house.
I mean, I don't blame them.
The Young Turks make an article, and I'm not quoting it, but it said something along the lines of, Kim and Kanye save their house while yours burns. And then there was an article ripping capitalism because these people can afford it and other people can't. You're blaming people for protecting their own property with money that they've earned?
You did the same thing. You bought a house away from where wildfires are common.
But how insane are these people to just try to blame capitalism? That okay, it sucks that there's a fire and that houses got burned. Yeah. That sucks a lot, and I feel very bad for anyone who lost anything. But blaming people who have the resources to protect their own, how can you possibly blame them? That's why I don't think this whole here we go. I don't think this whole socialism is about equality. It's not. It's about hating people who have more than you.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's you see these billionaires and millionaires and the 1%. It's all just ripping on them. It's not about like, hey, what actually helps people? Because if you actually looked at what helps people, it wouldn't be that.
Yeah.
No more ranting. No more ranting. How much time are we at?
We have been recording and live streaming for approximately 33 minutes.
Okay. I'd like to keep the thing right around half an hour.
The eggnog was finished very quickly. I'm sorry.
It was.
To anyone that saw that post and was interested, you're welcome.
No one is saying thank you. Negative people are saying thank you. Okay, the final topic that we will talk about. Treeway, Tekashi 6ix9ine is now in jail with Bobby Shmurda. No, not the same jail. Let's back up. So he's a SoundCloud rapper who made it big. Tattoos on his face. All his songs are about like him being in a gang, saying things like, "All my gangs are killers. I'm a killer too."
All his charges are about being in a gang.
This guy has tattoos everywhere. He's hanging out with known gang members.
And celebrities.
And celebrities for sure.
Which could be the same too.
And then he gets arrested for like illegal possession of a gun. There was like 17 charges, something, and then like
the other biggest
racketeering, yep. All these gang related. It's like, who's surprised by this? No one.
I'm only surprised at his former. Wasn't he on was it parole?
He was on parole for
the other
minor
stuff. Yeah.
thing.
The
Totally separate
that
topic.
minor thing. But wasn't he pretty strictly following his because he had like a list of like things he had to like do for it to be
Yeah, he was
okay.
fine.
He started going back for his GED. Whether he failed or not is a whole different. I don't know. Did whatever hours of community service. Did that he kept away from a certain something on his social medias or something. So like it seemed like he was like maybe like on the edge of some of them, but still following them.
He was
and then to be like, oh, never mind, and then he was possibly killing people or something.
What I don't get is, wouldn't you think as soon as you make like $1 million, you would stop being in a gang? Like, if I have beef with people like right now, and it's pretend I make $1 million tomorrow, I don't care about any of that. I'm not going to do any of the same stuff I'm doing if I have. You're in a whole nother class. You don't have to be robbing liquor stores now that you have $2 million in the bank.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess in a very weird way, props to him for actually rapping about things that he's currently doing. I mean, because you have like people who like rap about being like drug lords, and then people find out that they never even were in the drug business. Good, drugs are bad, but
bad to lie.
yeah, at least make your music authentic.
Those bastards.
No, so I mean, I guess in a very weird way, at least he was rapping about things that he actually did or does. Still, he shouldn't be doing those things. And I make a lot of jokes and memes about Tekashi 6ix9ine, and everyone's like, "Oh, they locked up your boy. Your boy's gonna be getting bad things happening to him in prison."
Getting bad things.
This is a family show.
Getting bad things.
No, this guy's a bad person. I'm joking. Do you understand what a joke is?
Bad.
This guy is a known gang member, and he says he's killed people. He deserves to be in jail. I kind of don't hate his music, but that doesn't mean he shouldn't be in jail. This guy's a bad person.
La 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 la.
This guy's a scumbag gang member. Like, of course,
That might have done decent things too, but
like
what?
Like that song Gotti. Ooh.
I don't know it by title.
I
I don't even
do.
know if I know it but by sound.
I know it. Either way, free my boy Tekashi, free Bobby Shmurda, free Martin Shkreli.
Especially that guy.
Yeah, I miss him. Either way, thank you very much for dreaming about Farmer Bro. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning into this Black Friday special of Thought Patrol. We might have another episode on Sunday. Might. We'll see.
We need outro music. Hold on.
Oh, okay. So
Just-
extend this thing. Okay. So thank you. Here's a list of 30 people that I want to thank. Okay, we're just gonna skip all that.
Fuck them.
Family show. F 'em. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Maybe.
All right. Goodbye. Goodbye. Patrol out.
Cosmic absolution, regular reality, breadth of concept, symphony of all humanity. Confused descendants born of rebel insurgents. I'll fly towards universe and pass through cosmic space. So if you want